My favorite fruit is, I'm a berry girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always torn between raspberries and blackberries, and I think my true answer is blackberry.
So interesting. I don't like a blackberry or a raspberry. Flavor, great. It's the seeds, they eke me out. I don't like when
That's
the
what my
seeds
mom
get stuck
says.
in my teeth. It really scares me. I love a strawberry.
Strawberries have pretty privilege.
They do. They do. Least favorite is blueberry because to me, I'm like, that's Russian roulette of fruit. Like, you don't know what you're going to get.
I mean, I fuck heavy with a raspberry and also like a good apple. Like a Honeycrisp, like perfect little guy. That's a texture that I really fuck with.
Pears?
Ooh.
I love the gritty.
My husband hates a pear. He had never had a pear like his entire life until like 2 years ago. Gave him a pear, and then he goes, "What the fuck was that?"
Have you guys ever had like a Korean pear?
I love an Asian
Yeah.
pear.
My step great grandmother was Korean, and she would always bring over like things of Korean pears, and she would bring them over so much of them, like huge cases of them. We'd be like, Kim, there is no world in which we can get through all of these pears.
My work fills a fruit bowl with pears, like maybe like every other day or something. It's not every day, but they get eaten like instantly, like the fruit bowl's empty instantly.
Those are for decor. They're for decor.
I think I want to get into apples because I'm like, that is such an easy food. You can just put it in your bag. You don't need to like package it. You just toss it in the bag. And you know what? A lot of people are like, oh, green apples are the only way to go. Green apples are the only way to go.
No.
I'm kind of like, all apples are kind of good.
Green apples are for baking. They are not for eating.
Yeah. Oh, I'll eat a green apple.
I'll eat any apple.
What I like is that we're basically having a conversation that is much like the conversation that the hosts of the show will be talking about today have about clothes.
I was going to say, what do you do when you have a pear body?
So speaking of pear bodies and trends, welcome to Informed Attraction, a podcast about learning from your mistakes, hosted by one tall, intimidating queer woman, one affable gay man, and guest starring one regular woman trying her best. I'm Mackenna Goodrich.
I'm Dr. Aubrey Hoffer.
And today we are joined by our dear, dear friend, India Chudnow. Yay!
Yeah!
India has a degree in fabric styling from FIT and has worked for brands like Hikerkind, Orvis, and Talbots. She is currently a designer for 22 Wallpaper and Textiles, a full-service wallpaper and textiles partner based in Connecticut. So we brought her on because while Aubrey and I like clothing and we like design, India knows clothing and knows design.
Oh my
India was raised in
just
design.
read my LinkedIn.
Yes, I went on your LinkedIn, but also, I mean, like, I actually, the only company I didn't know the name of that you have worked for is the current one, and that's why I went on LinkedIn, because I was writing it, and then I was like, fuck, I don't know the name of the wallpaper company.
It's third party, baby.
Oh, it's not 22? Am I wrong?
No, 22 it's a third party company. Like, we don't like make wallpapers, but we do make wallpapers for other people.
Aha.
Under NDA.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, so India designs all the wallpaper for Anthropology. That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, not Anthropology.
I did not just break it. NDA.
Yeah, but other places.
No one will ever want me to sign an NDA because if I sign it, it will not affect my behavior in any way.
I had to sign an NDA at the 24-hour plays, and I still don't remember like what the content of the NDA was. So I'm like, well, I guess if Mark is mad at me for talking about things that happened while I worked there, he'll tell me.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. NDAs are for people who are doing nasty business. Like war criminals.
Or like, yeah, I was going to say like sex crimes.
I don't know. Some of the things they say on what not to wear, I think are classified as war crimes.
Yeah, so Aubrey has now watched...
mirror.
The 360 mirror is a war crime. It should be a part of the Geneva Convention to not make anyone ever go into that thing ever again.
And they're so mean when they get in there.
Yep. So Aubrey had not seen anyone not to wear before this week. And India, I know that is not true of you. So what was your experience with What Not to Wear before we started to prep for this episode?
I loved What Not to Wear. I watched it all the time. Like with my mom, but really kind of mostly on my own volition. Like my mom was just like a TV head in general. So she just like generally had TV on. And we loved What Not to Wear. This one, I don't know, did you guys ever watch the Swan Princess? That was the
No.
plastic surgery one.
No, that's the Swan.
Where it was like what not to wear, but they would do plastic surgery, and whoever got the best plastic surgery at the end, like, won or something.
I did not watch The Swan. I think, Aubrey, you've watched The Swan, and I've watched Bridal Plasty, which is the same premise, but specifically for women who are
weddings.
getting married.
Yeah, but yeah, I loved What Not to Wear. I remember like just wishing that the people around me like had worse style, so I could like send them
Nominate
on
them?
nominate them for What Not to Wear, like all the time. Like I think I remember once my mom turning to me and being like, maybe we should nominate your father. But I'm like, that guy's pretty like stylish, actually.
Yeah, your dad is drip.
I think honestly, ultimately, my mom would have been a better candidate for What Not to Wear, because especially after watching her 2 episodes, I think she like dressed fine. She always looked fine, but she never really like knew what to wear. She was never like confident about it. And so I think maybe
she was missing a cropped jacket.
She was missing
a structured jacket.
She was missing a structured jacket buttoned in the front. It
buttoned
has
in the
to
front.
button.
It has to button. I had Aubrey and India watch 2 full episodes and one of the fast forwards TLC posts on their YouTube for this week's episode. These episodes were season 3, episode 15, Nancy, season 8, episode 14, Denise, and a fast forward of season 12, episode 2, Liz. So we're going to move through these 3 episodes in chronological order and just sort of chat through each of these episodes. And I just want to remind us, but also the audience, of the structure of the episode. We went into this in depth last time, but every episode of What Not to Wear basically goes the same, where there's the cold open, the conversation with the people who nominated that's not a contestant, the participant. There is the ambush, 3 outfits in the 360 with Clinton and Stacy's alternate outfits, and they trash their clothes. They do shopping day 1 alone. They do shopping day 2 with Clinton and Stacy. They do hair. They do makeup. They do the reveal to Clinton and Stacy. They do the reveal to friends and family. And then they do the ending montage. And so all 3 of the episodes that I guess the 2 episodes and the half episode we watched all were structured the exact same way. So we'll talk about them starting with Nancy. The description of season 3, episode 15, Nancy, is 44-year-old Nancy is an Irish step dance instructor whose fashion sense is badly out of step. She dresses for comfort, not for style. Lords of this fashion dance, Stacy London and Clinton Kelly, will try to teach her to jig to the beat of a new style. So what do you guys think of Nancy?
I loved her.
Nancy, I loved her. So here's the thing. Am I supposed to hate Clinton and Stacy? Because I do.
Oh, I don't think you're supposed to hate Clinton and Stacy.
No.
I think looking back at the show in 2025 or 2026, oh my God, we're in 2026 now. Looking back at the show in 2026, it's really hard to not hate them. At the time, the way that they talked was so like not evil, but looking back at it now, it's like we just don't talk about other people this way.
They're so bitchy.
There is no one who can be meaner to a straight woman than a gay man.
Yes, I will say Clinton specifically in the Nancy episode, I was like, oh, this is like not nice.
It's the, you know, you're allowed to like, you know, the joke that you're like allowed to punch one up your weight class, where that's why he can be so mean to her because she's a straight woman and he's a gay man.
Straight. I think Nancy's fooled around.
Nancy's fooled around for sure. You've seen that Yale hoodie. Unrelated, but there's something in that.
Yeah. To me, Nancy is just like, she's, 44 years old. She's Irish step dancing teacher. And she's just, I don't know. She would be described by the word that my mom thinks is like the worst possible word you could call somebody, which is frumpy.
Which is so funny because she's so scared of being frumpy. She said that multiple times throughout the episode. And so, yeah, I think she's really like the archetype of a lot of women on this show where they just have no sense of style and just sort of wear whatever, and like choosing to not engage in fashion is a way to like sort of like cover up their insecurities. And so like they're kind of hiding behind being like, well, I just don't care about clothes. And then as soon as they like care about clothes, it's like you can feel their self-confidence. Like it doesn't seem like they're insecure at first until they actually start dressing well. And then you're like, oh, this is like a confidence that you were missing this whole time.
Yeah, this episode was so endearing.
Yeah.
She's a mom. I would say she is not somebody who I would look at and be like, that's a fat woman, but is definitely not a thin woman. If I had to estimate, I'd probably say she's maybe like, what do you think? Like a size 14? Like,
I don't
12
know.
even?
I have no idea.
Yeah, like she's probably somewhere like what we would consider in like the mid-size range. Definitely has like the like mom kind of like belly, has like boobs from breastfeeding, and just pretty much wears like sweatpants and sweatshirts. And
Yeah.
that's her vibe.
I mean, context-wise though, like that makes sense. Like I feel like we forget about like I think because, you know, you guys talked about this actually quite a bit in the last episode of like, oh yeah, that was the time where everyone was just like business casual all the time. I think like now a lot of people dress like super functionally and
Yeah.
super functionally to their own life. Like, you know, I sure like maybe my wildest dreams when I was growing up thought that I would like wear these, you know, like outfits every day, until I realized that actually like jeans are just, you know, like the best thing and what's more comfortable for my activities, what I do, where I go. And
Yeah.
so I think like in today, maybe she would be seen as less of like a candidate in the sense of like, okay, if all she's doing is working out all day and like being a dance teacher, does it really matter that she's wearing yoga pants every day? Because
Well,
that's
that
kind of
Right.
like that's kind of what she has to wear. Like that's her uniform.
that was sort of the framing to me, the focusing on so much of what she wore while she was teaching was such a misstep in like the packaging of this show, because the problem isn't what she's wearing when she's teaching, it's that she doesn't know what to wear when she isn't able to be in that outfit. That's the problem. So like the commenting on the I wrote this, I was like, the commenting on the outfit she's wearing while teaching is low-key ridiculous. What someone is wearing during a movement class to me is nobody's business. Like her
Yeah, like
shorts
the
being
shorts.
short was such a ridiculous, it was such a ridiculous critique. And Clinton's comment of like, mom should never ever wear shorts this short, like she's teaching dance. Like it's not that she's like wearing those out
Also,
and about. She's just doing it while she's teaching dance.
also a dance that's specifically about what your legs are doing.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
you need to see your legs.
Yes,
Also,
exactly.
this is really interesting. I do have a background in Irish dance.
Do you really?
Yeah, I did Irish dance until I was like 13.
I did not know that. Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah, just to provide context for the people who haven't seen these specific episodes, like there's a scene where you can see her teaching a dance class and they pause the video and basically berate her for how short her shorts look. And she
Yeah.
even says in the episode, she's like, well, I was dancing, so they were riding up. And they're
Yeah.
basically like, that's ridiculous. And it's like, how?
And later when they're going through her clothes, it's there's a pair of like orange short shorts, and that's when Clinton says mom should never wear shorts as short. And I just was like thinking about like, I don't know, I do hot yoga, and the people at my studio are in a big age range. It goes because it's in the West Village, and so it's like a mix of like people who are NYU students and then like hot girls who live in the West Village, and then also like a lot of women in their like 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it's like a lot of them are wearing shorts because we're doing hot yoga. It's fucking hot. And I think that also Clinton's specific comment about like moms shouldn't wear shorts this short like gets into this myth that like your life ends when you become a mom and you can't wear short shorts while working out because you have a child is just like, shut up.
I mean, that's kind of like one of like their big things on the show is like, you're a mother. You shouldn't be dressing like that. You're a mother.
Yeah, it's I would definitely agree with that. Like it's less about age and more about like, have they given birth to a child?
Yeah, Madonna and the whore. Clint has Madonna and the whore complex.
Truly. I would also say also just like the focus on her wearing athletic wear. There is, to me, a difference between a flare legging and a regular legging, but that is my opinion.
I agree. I'm like, stretchy pants are business pants. Just depends on what you wear them with.
I have a pair of like Lululemon pants that I think are generally like geared towards looking like a business casual slack, but made in their like Nulu fabric.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, but also I think back then too, like a straight leg black pant with a stretchy waist, that's business casual, baby.
Yeah, and I think that the comment that Aubrey, I know Aubrey, you hated this comment, but I don't think they were commenting on her body. I think they were commenting on the silhouette. But Stacy makes this comment that is like a marshmallow with toothpick legs. And I think what that comment was getting at was so many of her outfits was a big t-shirt, a big sweatshirt, and then pants that were tight around the thigh. And that I think is where that comment was coming from. It was such a catty way to make that comment. But then you notice that like the pants say like enjoyed her wearing were a looser fit around the thigh. And I think that's really what they were looking for, is to balance proportion by having a looser fit around the thigh. But they could have said it that way.
Well, she also made such bitchy ass comments about her not having a properly fitting bra.
Yes.
And basically being
Yeah.
like, when you don't have a bra that fits, it just makes your whole torso be one piece, which, I mean, objectively is true. And I think it's really difficult for people who have large breasts to like be braless or have an ill fitting
Yeah.
bra, because it really does make your proportions of your torso look different. I mean, I don't even have like big titties, but like there are certain things where I'm like, yeah, like I really gotta wear like a decent bra with this. Otherwise, I just kind of like you see how low the fruits are hanging.
Let's see how low they can go, actually. I say fruits should hang as low as possible. I want to
Tie
see
'em in
them
a
hanging
bow.
out the bottom of your skirt.
It was funny to me. So when they were looking at doing the 360 and looking at outfits, there was a tweed jacket, which I think she actually ended up with. Like, I think it's the thing that she's wearing at the end of the episode in the like montage section. But she calls this like tweed jacket frumpy. And I agreed with them on this when they were like, what do you mean? As she's standing there in like a t-shirt and sweatpants. And they were like, okay. But I think she was really resistant to the idea of like looking older than she already was, which I think is what her reaction to that was rooted in.
Well, because
Yeah.
I think there was a dichotomy with her outfits where it was like either just like the sweatpants sweatshirt outfit for her, which is like regular, or she's like, I want to look like sexy. And what they
Yeah.
were proposing is like, here is kind of a middle ground everyday outfit where you are modestly covered, but it's more structured and dressed up. And for her, it was like, well, that's not sexy. And it's like, if I'm gonna dress up, I want to look sexy.
Yeah.
I thought her reaction to being in the 360 mirror was like very like honest in what I can imagine. She was like, what was she saying? There was like it's like your worst dream, but then Clint and Stacy walk in and all of a sudden it's a nightmare.
Yeah, she was like, being in the 360 is like a bad dream, and then Clinton and Stacy walk in and then suddenly it's a nightmare.
She's so funny. I love her personality. She, to me, is like a good candidate for this show in the sense that she just kind of like laughs along the entire time. We'll get to Denise. I think Denise is actually
Terrible.
a terrible candidate for the show.
What I disliked about the outfits they presented to her was she kept being like, hey, I don't really want to wear a structured jacket. And all three outfits they showed her had a structured jacket. And I wish they would have presented to her, because they like, I know it's like a meme that they do only present outfits with jackets, but like what we saw on the fast forward we watched is they just presented like a regular dress to that woman. And so it's like they could have presented something to Nancy that did not have to include a jacket.
It's because she's fat. It's because she's fat, and I think they're like, we can't have her
It's so
arms
crazy
not be
because
covered.
like they could have, I mean, she would have looked so cute in a little like Diane von Furstenberg type wrap dress, like that one girl was wearing it like in the fast forward episode, like where it's like, at the time, oh my gosh, that like thin floaty stretchy material was like so everything.
Yeah.
And so that like she would have looked so cute in that. I'm surprised that they didn't do that. They were like obsessed with getting her in a jacket, and she was so against it. And I mean, I get where she's coming from of like, also her whole thing was like, I want to be comfortable. Like comfort is number one to me. And that's why she didn't want to be in a structured jacket, because you think jacket, you're like, why the fuck am I wearing a jacket? Like, I want to be comfy.
Yeah, she kept saying that she didn't want things that were like too close or tight to her body.
Yeah.
And I have a note about this later, but like sensory things are definitely not a thing that was like ever supported on this show. And it's like, that's like a sensory thing. Like I feel I either want a shirt that is like toy, or I want like a big t-shirt. I really struggle with like middle ground sort of fabric, because I don't like when I can like feel the fabric, but it's not like glued to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Welcome
you can feel it like moving.
Yeah, like a sweater that's not like a sweater that's not baggy freaks me out because then it's also not tight. So I like either a little shirt or a big shirt. I really struggle with a medium shirt.
I'm trying to think of a medium shirt.
I have a lot of sweaters that I've gotten rid of because I realized I didn't like how they like were on me but not at the same time. I also, when they're throwing stuff away and they're throwing away all of her shoes and Clinton hits the camera with the shoe, I have to know if he apologized to the camera guy because I don't think he did. They at least don't show that he apologizes to the camera guy for hitting him with the shoe.
I love that they were like, well, that's coming out of your paycheck.
Yeah. I will say that like of a lot of episodes I've seen, Nancy really felt like she was just having a great time shopping. Like she didn't feel like it didn't feel like it was like fucking with her like body image wise sort of at all. And that might have been the way that they edited it or whatever, but like so often on this show, even people who do a good job shopping seem very anxious about it. And she was just sort of like, hell yeah, she spent $4,200 on the first day.
She was like, I don't think anyone's ever done this good.
Oh, also we're doing the voice because Nancy's from Long Island.
One last thing about when they're throwing out her clothes, I think it's like a real testament that she is like the perfect candidate for this show by the fact that she had, and it made me think of my mom like quite a bit, and I'm sure like a lot of people who have this sort of like unclear idea of what their sense of style is. And it was the fact that she had like a lot of stuff in her closet that had never been worn, and that was all like wildly varying in like quote unquote sense of style. And you can tell when you like just buy something and you're like, yeah, like this is cute, I think it's cute, but then like every time you go to put it on you're like, and so then it just like goes back in the closet but then like when you go to get rid of it, you're like, no, this is so cute, like let me keep it. And so I think like them like giving her like here's the recipe was like so good for her. And then it really you could see her like excitement like blossoming when she went shopping, like at the possibilities.
The first thing her buying being that like bright pink jacket was, I think, so gobsmacking for everyone because, you know, she was this woman who was like basically wearing all black t-shirts and sweatpants. And then like one of the first things she purchases is this like Pepto-Bismol pink jacket. And they're all like, what is happening? Who is this woman?
And she's like, I spent $42,000. I think I did very good.
I would immediately spend all the money.
Oh yeah.
I would have no hesitation.
Yeah. And I think that happens quite a bit, and then they make people return. That like I have definitely seen episodes where it's like someone like buys a bunch of shit the first day, and they have to like go back to the store and return it because Clinton and Stacy are like, "Hey, so no, that's not what we talked about at all."
Yeah, remember? Well, in this episode, they met her shopping, and then they were like, "You can trade this." Also, I don't know if it was in this episode or the Denise episode, but I remember thinking, "Holy shit, Clint looks so fucking good." He was looking so cute on when they met the person shopping. I don't remember if it was I think it was for Nancy, because I remember I couldn't even pay attention to what anyone else was saying. I was like, Clint, he was wearing like a sweater that fit him perfectly. It like hit right at the belt. He looked so good.
India, known lover of wool, was like, sorry, a sweater's on screen, I'm distracted. I will say, to the testament of this show, Clinton and Stacy always look really good. And like that would be such like an immediate way that you would not trust them, as if their outfits also sucked. But the two of them always are eating it up. And so it's like, it's like you would listen to the two of them because they look really, really good. Stacey London, I genuinely think, is one of the most beautiful women in the world.
She's so hot. It is such a win that she's a lesbian. It is so hot. Although I will say, she's like not fully I would like watched a few episodes of their new show, and in it she speaks multiple times about like guys that she has like a crush on. So I find it like interesting that she's like not fully like there's no mention of her like wife.
Well, she doesn't have one. She's not married.
Oh, okay. Sorry, partner.
She was dating. I don't know that she's even still dating the woman who she like originally was dating in 2019.
They broke up?
I don't know. There was no mention of her in the Wikipedia article when I was reading the Wikipedia article last night. When I was on wikipedia.com/Stacy London.
A second plane has its Stacy London Towers.
We have to go an episode without talking about 9/11.
Stacy
Never.
London girlfriend. Break up? Ex-girlfriend.
No.
Yeah.
That means she's single.
So that means there's a chance.
There's
for
still
me.
a chance. Dude, honestly, you and Stacy London.
Could be a hit.
And to their credit, I will say Clint and Stacy's outfits are really not terribly dated. There are
I
there are
agree.
some times where Stacy's wearing those chunky ass necklaces, and I'm like,
Yes.
all right, I know what year it is.
Yes.
But for the most part, I think they have both of them have a great, pretty timeless sense of style.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is
also great for this show, because that's kind of the point of this show, is try to give people like an evergreen wardrobe.
I will say though, I think a lot of the outfits they suggest are very dated in the sense that it's like such 2000, like late 2000s, early 2010s cuts. Like all of the pants, all of the like it just is so of that time.
I think the pants, it really stands out specifically because whenever they talk about like a skinny pant, I'm like, shh, we don't talk about that.
The skinny jeans will come back. Alex Earl wore skinny jeans a few months ago, and all the girlies are yearning for it.
I don't know. Being in New York, everyone is still wearing the biggest jeans you've ever seen in your entire life.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on Stacy London breaking up with her girlfriend.
The thing that I will say, I'm a short person. I've got a pair of cargos, but I do think that I look best in my skinny jeans.
I think, long live the skinny jean. It works for some people.
Well, I just feel like for me, I am so short and stout that when I wear big pant and big shirt, it really does just make me look like a mini fridge.
Aubrey, you're a little teacup. Short. Okay, I was gonna say Aubrey has just described herself as short and stout multiple times while we've been doing this series, and all I can do is, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my snout. So once we get through the sort of shopping section with Denise, we get to, at this point in the show, Nick Orojo and Carmen D, who are the hair and makeup people.
The true stars of the show, I will say. The only times I was not angry watching any episodes is when they were on screen.
I will say, I do think that Ted is who comes later, Ted is the replacement, is a better hairstyle than Nick. I felt from watching multiple episodes of the show that Nick just sort of gives everyone the same
haircut.
Sort of mom haircut. And Nancy's does look fine, but I'm a Ted Gibson truther.
Hey, shout out Ted Gibson, Uncle Gunkle to my college friend Sydney.
Which is so fun.
So
that was
random.
such a fun text that you sent us earlier this week.
Okay, so he does hair for Kate Walsh.
Uh-huh.
I was dressing up as Kate Bush for Halloween.
Uh-huh.
And my friend told me, she was like, oh my gosh, my uncle does Kate Bush's hair. And he is gonna send her a picture of your costume because that's so crazy you're dressing up as her. And I was mind blown, oh my God. Kate Bush is gonna see a photo of me. This is the best are you kidding me? I was oh my God, can you have him send her this video I did a long time ago? No, she's talking about Kate Walsh.
Yeah.
Not Kate Bush.
Very different. Very different.
Very, very different. And that was
basically only similar that they are white women named Kate.
Kate, yeah. That was a hard day for me.
But she's such a sexy redhead. I want Kate Walsh to see a picture of me.
I mean, yeah, except I wasn't dressed up as Kate Walsh.
I mean, granted, I feel like a Kate Walsh Halloween costume is going to be pretty fucking niche because it's who are you? Oh, I have red hair and a doctor's coat on. Oh, you don't recognize me as Dr. Addison Montgomery from Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, I hate gay Halloween. What do you mean you're Dr. Addison Montgomery from Grey's Anatomy? My other comment about this section is I love Carmen D so much. She's my favorite person on the show, and I just think she's lovely and very comforting to people.
She's so sweet.
She's such a good makeup artist.
Yeah.
Such a good
she's
makeup
just so
artist.
Nice, good at her job. And I just appreciate someone who's nice and good at their job.
Well, her vibe is the vibe that I wish the host actually had, because she never talks down to anyone for either not really knowing how to do their makeup or doing their makeup in a really specific way. She's just sort of here's an alternative way to do your makeup.
Yeah.
Especially, it's it really rings true in the Denise episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think she is the most successful person during the Denise episode. Her and Ted both are very successful during the Denise episode, but I think she is the most successful. To close with our Nancy episode, any other thoughts on Nancy and her journey before we move to Denise.
Do you think Nancy still has any of those outfits?
I do.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Nancy loved her clothes. You saw the way she was like popping her little ankle out to show off her little boot. She went crazy for the shoes. You could tell she loved the clothes that she got.
Her Irish step dancing in those sexy as hell kitten heels went hard as fuck. That was the best part of the episode when she at the beginning of the episode, she makes this like comment about like pointy shoes being uncomfortable. And then she buys these like very sexy black kitten heels with like a sheer heel thing going on. And then Stacy's like, can you Irish step dance in those? And then she does. And I was like, hell yeah, Nancy.
Oh, the one thing I did want to comment on that I thought was really interesting is that at one point Nancy gets a jacket and they're like, see, this jacket was only $40. And then we had it tailored for an additional $40. And basically they make the point of like, if you're not spending that much on a jacket, you might as well pay the money to get it tailored so that it fits your body really well. And like the thing that I feel like so many people don't realize when it comes to why your clothes don't look like celebrities' clothes do is because every rich person gets their clothes tailored.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, it's the same thing of like, you know, when you like see clothes on the model on the website and then it's like they're doing things to all those clothes on the models on the website.
Yeah, at Hiker Kind, we had like a pair, like we had like one of every item for like the first collection custom made for the model, like in her specific sizes, because they knew what model they wanted. You know, it was such a small company. Yeah.
And it makes sense to do that because you want to show the clothes off in the best light. But like, I think it does then like create this thing with people where they're like, but it doesn't look like that on me. And it's like, well, you have a different body. You know, all of these celebrities, all of these models on the websites are not wearing it the way that it is off the rack. And like, nor should you, because you need it to be off the rack in a way that's going to be accessible to a larger group of people and then get it tailored so that you can get it tailored to what your specific body needs.
Also, like most photo samples come with model length. So like there's like 3 inches added. So that's why pants are always so short for people who are taller. It's because the model has longer pants than what they're selling.
Wow, that's amazing. That actually is heartening to know for me.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I don't know if it's actually like as much like seen as like best practice anymore because I remember when we like stopped doing that at Orvis because our like chief product officer was like, "Oh, we can't be." Her whole stance was we can't be photographing anything that someone can't actually get.
Yeah,
which I really respected, but. I mean, oftentimes there's like, especially back in the day, now it's like probably, I don't know for other companies and other places, but it was like you had like model length because models are like thinner and taller.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk Denise, shall we?
God damn it, Denise.
So we have season 8, episode 14, Denise. This is the description. Denise is a flight attendant whose style is a blinding display of bling. But where does the Technicolor costume party end and the real Denise begin? Can a week-long layover convince Denise that the glitz and the glam is smothering her inner sparkle?
I hate Denise.
She should have said no.
So here's the thing. Denise is just Trisha Paytas. Denise is just Trisha Paytas. So if you knew what Trisha Paytas was doing on YouTube back in the day, just imagine that it's basically that. And it's just a blonde bimbo with big ass blonde hair, way too heavy makeup, and then she dresses in little bimbo outfits. And then the whole time they're like, so you know that you're like sexualizing yourself, right? And she's like, what? No, I just want to look like a present. I just want to look so cute. And she's just like acting like she doesn't know what the fuck is going on all the time. And I hate that. I hate people like that. And I just hate Denise.
That's I knew funny. Picking this episode was going to set Aubrey off.
No, I agree with Stacy London because I think Stacy London was pissed off at her throughout that entire episode because there's a point where Stacy London is like, this is like an affront.
Anti-feminist.
And it is. It is. Women who bimbify themselves are anti-feminist, and I am 10 toes down on that.
I don't know if I fully agree with that because I'm like, I know a lot of like lesbian bimbos, and I'm like, that rocks.
I think if you pretend to be stupid, you are doing a misogyny as a woman.
Okay, fair enough. Like the pretending to be stupid. I think she's like,
I think there's a difference between the aesthetic and then the active of the actual pretending to be stupid.
Which she does the entire episode.
No. I agree with you in the
Yeah.
context of Denise. Like if it was just her aesthetic in a vacuum, like I would be like, I would have a very different opinion on this episode. But it's like there is
a wall up.
There's a wall up. I'm very frustrated by Stacy and Clinton in this episode because they're not trying to work within her aesthetic at all. But I am also extremely frustrated with Denise because they're asking her these point blank questions that she clearly has thought about, but going, I don't know. And it's like, yes, you do. Because and I think it's like
I never thought of it.
Like
that's too deep for me. That's too deep.
Well, clearly these are like conversations that she's had with her coworkers who nominated her. And then when they are bringing it up in front of her during the part where they like watch the tape back and her coworkers are like, you say you want to date a nice guy, but like you're having a hard time with your aesthetic. And Denise is like, I never said that. And her coworkers are like, what do you mean? You did say that. Like you have said that to us before. And so I think that like is the key, the two key issues of this episode is that Stacy and Clinton like refuse to work within her aesthetic. But the other key issue is like Denise like does not want to be there.
Well, here's the thing though. I think Denise wants to be on TV because even the very last little moment of the episode is her basically being like, and look forward to seeing me on the big screen wherever because I'm not going anywhere. And it's like you can tell that she just wanted to like get on TV thinking that it would somehow propel her to like getting a reality show or something. And it didn't.
She wasn't very interesting. I mean, she was like kind of charming. But
she also was doing the fucking duck face the entire time.
Denise was hoping that this would be like her Vanderpump Rules or whatever, which actually worked out terribly for all of them, except for maybe the one who's hosting Love Island.
Yeah.
But she had to get cheated on to get there.
But anyway, Denise comes in, she's herself, and basically the whole time Stacy and Clinton are like, who are you really, Denise? And they think that who Denise must really be is a girl who is not the person in front of them.
I don't know. I do think that I think the issue is I do think they went about it in a wrong ways because there were a lot of times where like for a second Denise would be like, yeah, like it is a mask because I don't really know who I am. And instead of like grabbing onto that and really like interrogating that and being like, what do you mean you don't know who you are? They really landed, like they really, really leaned heavy on the, see, if you dress like this, you're never going to find a guy who wants you. And that just like, I don't know, like to me, I'm like, well, you know, the person who actually is for you should really be for you no matter what you look like or what you wear. So it's actually kind of like irrelevant, I think, in terms of like a stepping stone for dating, especially now because you can like meet someone online.
Right.
But I guess then you can.
It was very clear though that like this whole thing like was like a character and like
to her also. Like it was a character to her.
And it's like I think they were trying so hard to break through that, but I agree that they were doing it the way that they were like negging her, as we established last episode, they kind of neg people, was in the wrong way because they were so focused on this whole like you want to get married thing. And like to be fair, that's like a thing that her coworkers had said, but it was like you would get these glimpses of her being like, yeah, I don't know who I am and I need help, but then they would just be like,
how are you gonna find a man?
Well, and then the way that they tried to help was to take her so devoid of personality. So they like really, it is to the point that like this episode I think would be good for someone who has a debimboification kink. Like it is so debimboification.
They should have given her glasses.
Oh my!
To carry around.
Literally, if they would have dyed her hair brown, it would have been the full that like debimboification meme where you go from the blonde girl with the big fake tits to the brunette girl with the glasses. So yeah, that's my whole thing about this episode is that like they just totally work against her entire aesthetic instead of giving her ways to make her aesthetic more approachable. And that is what I was sort of talking about last time, where it's like there's this like flattening of everybody, and it needs. And like that it all just needs to be like workwear. And that's just not what Denise wanted. Like that dress that she wears in the 360, that's like the to me, very like cool, sparkly dress. Like, yes, that's a lot for every day. But like someone who that's their starting point is this like disco ass, like silver sparkly dress that like I would maybe wear to like when I go to like the Mamma Mia night in New York with my friends. Like if that's what her starting point is, you need to give that person outfits that she can wear on a day-to-day basis. And that person is not wearing a structured jacket with a sensible printed shirt underneath.
Yeah, they were like, it's fun, it's printed. And she was like, this is ugly.
Yeah. It's not cute.
And to her credit, I did think it was
cute.
ugly.
It was. This was like a cool, I mean, she's a year older than me. She's 29. It's like this is like a cool, fun young woman who's trying to like go out and date. She doesn't want to wear a blazer and a printed shirt.
Well, right, like, or there were some outfits that they put her. I actually think all of the outfits they put her in were actually fine, but they were just not her style at all.
At all. Yeah, they were totally fine for a completely different woman.
Yeah, I think Denise would be a better candidate for their new show.
I agree.
And I think you did an amazing job picking episodes. And I know I've said this like a million times, but it really does highlight like what a good candidate is versus like a bad candidate. I don't think what not to wear. And maybe this is like an issue with like the idea of what not to wear versus like how to find some sort of style if you don't have any, in the sense of like for people who aren't really trying to be super stylish but like want to feel put together. I think this show was like perfect for those kinds of people, like people who are just sort of like lost and like didn't really know and like needed a capsule wardrobe essentially to like get them through. But I think where it didn't work at all was for someone who has a very clear sense of style. Like Denise, like you could tell what Denise would like or not like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is very easy to look at Denise and think, oh, I can find stuff that she would like that maybe might not actually be a legitimate costume. And that's why, and I think even like down to Ted did a great job and even Carmody did a great job. But I'm like, why couldn't they have given her a strip lash?
Mm-hmm.
Like the girl wanted a strip lash. You could have just still given her a strip lash. I think she like said it very nicely. But yeah. And then like the shopping trip, I'm trying to remember the shopping trip. But
well, the shopping trip was just like they were doing the rules, but like she just wasn't excited about any of the rules, and they weren't working for her. I think about my friend Nikki has like a sort of like vintagey style. It's not like in a bimbo lane at all, but like a lot of her clothes are vintage, mostly drawing on like 50s and 60s silhouettes. And it's like that is a thing that I think that they could have like edged her towards, which was like trying to find things that still had this element of like, you know, this is a girl who describes herself as camp
and cute.
And cute.
They didn't give her anything cute.
They didn't find anything cute. And so it's like they needed to like find, I think about, you know, at the time, like ModCloth was a thing that was kind of popular at the time. And it's like finding something like that where it's like you still have this element of like frivolity and whimsy without it, you know, being like in this like super sexualized way. That maybe would have been most useful for someone like Denise, who like what to me it wasn't the like costumey part that was like the covering up and playing the character. It was it was like the sexiness, which is sort of the same thing that we would get with Liz in that fast forward that we watched. That it was like the mask is the sexiness.
The way I think I would have liked for them to style Denise would basically, you know, like all of like Margot Robbie's Barbie looks. I feel like something in that vein, like because obviously she wanted something that was like very like hyper feminized, like very like cute, and taking her more in the direction of like, let's dress you like a Barbie doll and see how you like that, you know, as opposed to the like bimbo look.
Yeah. And actually now I'm thinking about it, she looked fully like what's her name? Fucking the House Bunny. Like that was like her whole vibe was a House Bunny. If like
Anna
House
Faris.
Bunny, no, specifically the House Bunny.
Oh, specifically the House Bunny, the character of the House Bunny.
Yes, specifically the House Bunny, and like Alaska Thunderfuck had a baby.
Literally.
Yeah. I just think like they really could have like actually given her something to work with that like felt more like in a land of like reality, because I feel like my issue is I'm like, I don't know, she's 29, like there's so many people who still like dress super sexy. Like I know a bunch of like older women who have like massive boobs and still dress sexy, like Aubrey, your
mom.
I was like those women exist, you know? Like, I'm like, she's gonna be your mom. Like, that's perfect. Like,
is that why I have such resentment toward Denise?
I think that is. I think it is.
Well,
it's your mommy issues coming out to play.
Yeah, I would say my obviously. Listen, I, as someone who loves to have a tiny little shirt on, is never gonna poo-poo someone being sexy in public. I have 2 full parts of my dresser that are dedicated to my tiny tops and bodysuits. I think Denise likes the cute and the costuming. Like, she them fucking poo-pooing on you having dresses for themed events. I was like, how fucking dare you? I love a themed party.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know, if there's no theme party, then like, what's the point of living? Which is very like that era.
Yeah, and I think the things that she was using as like a mask were the one top that she was like, I would wear this to work, and it was like basically a bra with lace to cover her stomach. And I was like, okay, you know that's not true. You know you wouldn't wear that shirt to work, and also
she's
like
a uniform.
She's a flight attendant, but like also this is the part, not the fun campiness. That's not the part that's the mask. You're a fun person. The part that's the mask is the like the big hair. That is the caricature part. And so
she was a drag queen.
It was giving drag queen.
She wasn't like she was more comfortable like playing the part of a like sexy woman than like being a woman, because being a woman comes with critique and blah 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 blah, you know, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
I'm curious, like, India, how do you think people find a personal style? You're like, I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know. If you figure that out, tell me. I honestly,
that's the thing. I think you have such a clear sense of style.
That's so funny, because I feel like I feel like I used to. I don't know. Things have
Yours
changed.
Has really
for
changed.
Me.
Your sense of style has really changed.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so like both of you have known me since I was like a teenager. Like, you know, we're old friends. So I feel like I used to be like so much more like colorful and wild, and I found myself like as I mature, like really leaning into that, going back to the norm core of it all. I do think that like unfortunately, like when my body like changed so much, I had like at that point built up a wardrobe of like clothes I really loved, and it was kind of like really devastating to lose that, just in the sense of it didn't fit me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think that I would feel much more confident in my sense of style if like my clothes could have grown with me, because there was a lot of stuff in there that I really loved. I mean, granted, I like have stuff that, and so now I'm like trying to find stuff that comps for it, that's like quality, you know, it's kind of hard. So I personally feel like I'm at like sort of a weird place of like needing to rebuild that up. But I think it's just sort of like, I don't know. I feel like I've been feeling sort of like weird about it lately. I think like TikTok and the like fastness of and the speed of like trend cycles.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I find like this like endless search for your personal style to be also sort of like a way to participate in overconsumption. And I'm not saying that I don't have this problem. I very much have a shopping addiction that I am battling, and every day it is a battle. I literally have a shopping addiction. Aubrey, you're in my group chat. I put Aubrey in a group chat that was like, anytime I want to buy anything, it has to go through this council of people, and I just completely abandoned it.
I was gonna say, you have not updated the council in a while, so I'm assuming you've bought nothing.
No, that's not true.
Well,
remember I bought that tiny phone?
Oh my god!
But then it got returned.
So so this is going to be a tangent, but on the topic of like micro trends and the speed of trends, guys, I think they're trying to force a 2010s nostalgia in a way that is not organic. Like, I feel like
absolutely,
because I've been seeing all the stuff of like, guys, romanticize 2016, throw back to 2016. It feels so forced to me and inorganic, where like in 5 months no one is going to be doing 2010s nostalgia, but in 5 years when all the current 8-year-olds are 13 and they're listening to the Killers for the first time, it will organically come back. But I think big business is lying to us right now and is trying to make 2010s happen. And it's upsetting me.
I think the like throwback of 2016 is like very specific to like the place that we are in the world right now, because 2016 was the year that Trump got elected.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of people in our generation, that was like a huge shift. Obviously, like, there's a lot of things before
I think that's
like,
honestly where it came from, is people being like, this was the last good year before everything went bad.
yeah, and
Which
obviously,
I don't agree with, to be clear.
which is just, like, isn't true. Like, there was a lot of,
No.
like, bad that, like, ultimately
Yeah.
led to that. Like, you know, Trump didn't just get elected in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But I think that's, like, why a lot of it was before, I think, a lot of youth, like, at least, like, the current adults had to become political. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't have to be political before that.
Yeah.
Because you just didn't have to, like, worry about it in the way that I think now you do, for better, for worse, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's like a one net positive is just, like, everyone in general being, like, more aware of, like, the politics that are going on in the world. But
I think it specifically forced a lot of white people to be more aware of what was going on, which
Yeah.
is, I will say, a lot of the people I see doing the trend for, like, nostalgia for 2016 are my white friends.
yeah. I mean, also, it, like, yeah, I think that's why, like, 2016 is very specific, because I'm like, well, last year, what was 10 years since 2015? And also, the shit that people are posting being, like, nostalgia for 2016 is not 2016.
It's like 2012. I will say my favorite of the 2010s throwbacks, though, that I have seen is, do you guys remember Cece Clark? She would do the lipstick videos. Oh my god, it was like, it would be a close-up of her lips, and it would be her doing, like, the lip pencil and then the lip liner, or the lip pencil and then the lipstick, and then it was just like, it was very of the time.
Wow. Yeah, the lip kits. I do think that, like, the indie sleaze revival has come,
Yeah.
like, slightly naturally, though. But in the similar way that, like, the nostalgia, I saw actually a video on it that's, like, someone articulated it, like, very well, is basically, like, the reason why in the, like, 70s-ish there was a lot of nostalgia for, like, the 50s, and like, it just, like, economically we're in a similar place. And so that's why it makes sense that, like, there's a lot of nostalgia for, like, just a few generations before, because, like, that's when the people who were adults were children and had, like, cool people to look up to,
Right.
like Lena Dunham.
Okay, I am bringing us back to But Not So Where. So the last little thing that we watched was this fast forward of this episode of this woman, Liz, who Liz is interesting because she's sort of the inverse of Nancy, in that she's not thinking about her clothes and landing on sexy as opposed to just, like, t-shirt, sweatpants. And I feel like that sometimes can come from, like, if you're, like, being praised for your body growing up and then looking good kind of equals showing off. And like, so then you just, like, land on, like, because, like, the one of the outfits they show us her wearing is this black dress with, like, spaghetti strap tank tops that is, like, does not fit her, but, like, her boobs are just out and about. But she admits that that's not the look that she is going for. But it's like, I think that just is what she's defaulting to.
Well, I think it's also difficult because she has ginormous boobies. And I think that's a struggle that a lot of people with ginormous boobies have, is that you wearing a tank top is just going to have a different look than somebody with smaller boobies wearing a tank top.
Yeah. If Stacy London was wearing that tank top, she'd be like, if Stacy London was wearing that exact dress, it probably would have had a completely different, like, response. I thought it was a cute dress.
I thought the dress was beautiful.
Oh, I just think that dress didn't fit her at all. Like, the straps were too long, and,
oh
like,
my gosh,
it didn't fit her in the waist. Like that is it is just a dress that didn't fit her. And
and I think that's why she was another example of, like, a successful candidate, because it seemed like she was, like, defaulting to these, like, weirdly sexy outfits, but to me it felt like, oh, these are just, like, the clothes that she's had. And so she's just sort of, like, figuring out how to wear it. She seemed like she really loved her whole new look, and she felt, like, very proud. She was ready to go and have another baby.
She had never developed a sense of style past being, like, a teenager, young adult.
Well, I think that's
so it was like, that's what she was reaching for.
I think a lot of people fall into that. I just think now we maybe don't even notice it as much because a lot of, like, day-to-day wear is so casual that for most people it's like, I just wore this, like, sweatpants and sweatshirt from, like, 14 to 24, and people are like, Me too.
Yeah, this goes back to, because we like tangented on the tangent, Aubrey, of you like asking like how someone develops personal style, is I think also right now like every like these like trends, is it's like they're so specific that like we don't need a show like What Not to Wear, because on our phones every single day is literally like, here's how you dress like a cool girl. Cool girls wear a fur jacket and this and this and this. And so I think that like a lot of people really think that they're developing a sense of style, but then you're like, no, you look just like every other girl. And like, I think that's fine. You know, like trends are trends for a reason. That's why like things are popular, because that's just like what people like collectively like. Like I just got back from Europe, and when we were in Vienna, there was this one corner that had a massive red bow on it. And I'm like, okay, it was crowded. Okay, everybody needed to take a picture in front of this red bow. And I'm like, you're coming to Vienna to take a picture in front of a bow? Okay. Every single girl there to take a photo they were literally wearing the exact same outfit. They had a light faux fur jacket, brown brown pants, and their hair was in like a clip. And I was just like gobsmacked. I was like, wow, like bitches in Europe just look the same as bitches in the US. Like bitches everywhere just be looking the same. That is so crazy. And I think that's why, like, to find like, I guess, a sense of personal style is like, you really need to interrogate like not just like what you want to wear and like what you want to look like, but you need to like find a way to mesh that with what actually is going to work for you. I had recently saw an influencer, and she had like basically like the like 3 rules for like finding your personal style. And like one is like, it has to be comfortable, whatever that means to you. Like you have to feel comfortable in it, or else you're going to feel like you're wearing a costume. It has to be like something that like you like want to, I don't know, there's 3 rules. I can go down, and as you look for it, as we talk more about the show, I can find it, because I was like, that is actually a really, really good way of like thinking about personal style and like finding personal style, because I've always really been drawn to clothing and apparel, less so as like, you know, like capital F fashion. I think when I was younger, maybe it was that way, but then as I got older, I realized like that's not what I care about. Actually, like what I care about is like apparel. And like what I care about is like the functionality of clothing, and how people wear clothes day to day is really actually super interesting. And it just, it tells so much about like what's going on in the world and what's going on in people's heads. And so I think finding your personal style is like really hard, but ultimately like it's not that important. Like your personal style is what you wear every day. I mean, like if you're going to go out of your way to be uncomfortable and like wear things that might actually feel like a costume, but like if that's what you want to wear, then like sure, that can be your personal style. Like some people, it's a lot easier for them to like put on a million accessories, and like that like comes second nature. Like I'm not a ring wearer. There's a lot of people
I'm not a ring wearer
who put like 10 rings on a day, and like that's just like so normal for them. And I'm like, that is crazy. I can't imagine what do you do when you wash your hands?
Yeah.
You just got soggy fingers under those rings?
Ugh.
That's crazy. You know, so it's like, it's, you know, different strokes for different folks. It's really your personal style just like comes naturally. Like, I don't know. I think the 2 of you both have like very, very distinct personal styles that it seems like both of you have.
Describe them.
I can't describe them, okay?
Why?
No, I said I can.
Oh, yes.
Because I think like both of you have like put in work on like actually wearing clothes that are comfortable to you and like what you feel comfortable in. Like Aubrey, for you, it is important to have like clothes that in your regular day also functions like clothes that you can wear professionally, but also that are comfortable. Like I guess I like to describe your style. I'm imagining like a black skirt.
Yeah.
It could be plaid.
Yes.
It could be like a plaid, like I'm thinking like a black like circle skirt. I know that like maybe that's not like what you might wear like right now, but definitely
No, it is.
Okay, perfect. Like a black circle skirt and like black tights and like a white like cropped button-up shirt and maybe a sweater vest over it.
Yeah.
If you're feeling frisky, you're gonna put a sweater vest on.
You are describing an exact outfit we've seen Aubrey wear when we were in New York for her bachelorette party.
Oh, is that why?
No, I think that you just like because Aubrey does have such a distinct personal style, but
yeah, like Aubrey, you're gonna wear a little
you were
black.
building this outfit, and I was like, this fucking
like you're gonna wear like a black like ankle boot.
Yeah. And I will.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is it maybe a little bit dated to the 2010s? Mayhaps. But you know what?
But it doesn't matter because
me.
you look great and it's like a very clear sense of style. I don't think anyone like seeing you walk down the street would be like, "Whoa, that's dated."
I don't think so.
You know, like not at all.
I think for me, I feel like my style is, I mean, yeah, I made a conscious choice a few years ago where I was basically like, I don't want to have any distinction between clothes I wear to work and clothes I wear outside of work. So, and it works for me because I've just always liked a kind of like academic, more, I guess, sort of, I guess I would call it more preppy style, but I don't know. My thing is I like to be preppy with a lot of tattoos because that I think is a nice juxtaposition of like polish and edge that just feels very, very satisfying for me.
I think you very much like have the vibe of like I think what one may call dark academia now, but it's not quite dark academia because it's not so like gaudy.
Right.
I find like dark academia to be like a bit more like Victorian. Like you're not very Victorian. You're kind of like you're like a 2016 like indie dark academia. Like that is like okay, there's that picture of us from when we did friend art.
Yeah.
I'm like, you still dress like that. So like that's like what I like you're still rocking that, like, you know, all of the tweens against the fence.
I was literally about to say all the tweens against the fence have always been and will always be my inspo. I just want to be them.
Like that exactly. Like that's what I picture.
Soft grunge is what they called it back in the day.
Soft grunge, yeah. Soft grunge academia.
Yeah.
Core. Because now you have to put core over it at the end or else it doesn't count.
Liz, this is a crazy transition. My next thing I wrote was Clinton's comments, plural, that in the short cut down we watched this episode, Clinton makes multiple comments about this woman's boobs.
He is out of like pocket in that clip.
I was like, dude, this is too much.
Gay men love boobs.
I do think
hate women.
I do think out of all of the outfits between all 3 episodes, the most successful outfit they showed on the mannequin was the one they showed Liz. Because it was like, that was like a good dress comp to the dress that she had on, of like something that was just going to fit her better and be more the vibe that she was actually going for.
Yeah, and she instantly was like, I love this more. Like, I don't like this. Take this off me. I want that.
Yeah. Aubrey, were you rocked when they suggested the peplum to her?
Oh my god, that peplum is the fucking ugliest shit I've ever seen.
Dude, the peplum's coming back. Get freaking ready.
I wore a peplum.
Yes.
I wore a peplum. Senior year of high school, everything was peplum.
I don't think I ever owned anything peplum.
My mom, Cheryl.
I think you did.
Cheryl
I'm sure
loved,
I could go back in the vaults and find something.
There was nothing Cheryl loved more than to put me in a peplum.
Nothing says not frumpy like a peplum.
Like a peplum.
Well, because the whole thing was always like, oh, well, fat girls can wear it because, you know, it's tight to the body, but then it doesn't show off the ugly fat
belly
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really, that was the popular trend of prom dresses. My senior year of high school was all of them had a peplum.
With the tight, was it a peplum with a tight skirt or was it like a peplum?
It was like imagine like a long kind of like, you know, straight dress with a peplum in the middle.
Yes. Okay. So it was almost, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know who never stopped rocking the peplum?
Who?
Musical theater girls.
Well,
clock.
Yeah. They kept the peplum. They've kept the peplum strong.
They have.
They kept it alive and well.
Yeah. Liz is a totally different person at the end of this episode. It's kind of crazy. She just her hair is short and red, and it goes from like long and blonde to short and red. She's just a completely different person. I really like the color. I will say everyone above the age of 35 must have short hair on the show. They chop every woman above the age of 35's hair straight off.
I think it's an issue of more of like, oh, we have to give you a makeover, so we have to do something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's like an issue with the makeover.
Someone on TikTok said that long hair is chuggy now. Everyone has short hair now.
I mean, I was actually like, that's not true. And then I looked at the 3 of us and I went,
hey, I still have long hair. I just have
long hair. I just cut my 24-inch bust down off.
Oh, but your hair isn't even that long, though. Your hair is like right past your shoulder.
No,
that
it
is
isn't.
shrinkage.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
Your
You're
hair
right.
is long. It's so pretty. I always imagine you with like, think I still picture you like with red hair, and like no matter what hair color you change and have, I'm like,
Well,
you've got red hair.
I always see you
You
as a
consider me
blonde.
blonde.
Yeah. I always see you as like blonde with like a short haircut. Yeah, no, my hair grows really fast because last year, about a year ago today, honestly, it was my ears.
Yeah, when you chopped it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I always love
I cut 18 inches off.
I always love how I look with short hair, and then nobody else does, and then I grow it out, and I'm like, it looks so much better, and then I want to cut it off again.
I can't look at pictures of myself with long hair because I start having a crisis. So
because you cut it all off.
Because I cut it all off, and I am like, maybe that was a mistake to have cut it all off, but that's okay.
No, if you're gonna go blonde, you have to do it with short hair, so you don't just like.
Otherwise, it gives MAGA. It gives MAGA. Otherwise,
it's a waste. No, it's just a waste of money to go platinum long.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to afford it if we hadn't have chopped my hair off. There was no way I was affording my hair.
Yeah, and also nothing says like that's just what you have to do when you have that sort of life situation. You have to go blonde.
You mean my situationship, my humiliationship crash out?
Yeah. Listen, I don't think you have anything to be humiliated of there. Maybe only a little bit, but like. But I think also because in the last episode you were saying like, oh, I don't, I want my colorful hair back. I think the blonde is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you look normal. I don't think you could look normal.
No.
You're just a little freak. You could. Speaking of which, though, my next sort of thing,
you little like a goblin freak. Yeah, what even are you, gender?
I have no idea. Just a quick thing I have like a few like quick things I want to talk about, and then I have like a where are they now section. First thing is just like, I mentioned last time that this was definitely going through like a cis white lens. Also to say that like there's very little room on this show for like disabled bodies, gender nonconformity, sensory needs.
Have they had like a black person on the show?
On What Not to Wear?
Yeah.
I think definitely yes. This was a thing that like a model did. An article I read was like many traditional outfit faux pas are rooted in fat phobia, ageism, racism, and ableism. There was a model named Monique Black who said that in a article from Fashion Magazine about like the legacy of What Not to Wear, and it was very much about like how your appearance needs fixing and was sort of rooted in all of this like hierarchical, typical stuff. And I just wanted to we sort of brought up the thing about Nancy and the clothes being close to her body, and like, yeah, there's just no space for like any sort of difference really on this show. The other thing I want to mention is the early on. So when we watched the Nancy episode, they used to say how much money all the pieces cost, and like most of the things that Nancy bought were above $70, and that like definitely there's this like real investment pieces logic on the show. There's a lot of like who can afford to look right, who gets punished for not knowing the rules. So like in that list of things that Monique Black mentioned earlier, like classism is definitely a thing to talk about here. And like also like this is a fantasy. You're getting $5,000, or in the case of Liz, they give her $10,000 to like build this new wardrobe. And it's like,
wow.
Yeah. And that's why they can buy things like a $200 jacket, because they're being handed a Visa gift card with $5,000 on it, which is maybe not what they could afford in just their like regular day-to-day life.
Yeah. I don't know what an Irish dance teacher makes, but I don't know.
I imagine not that much.
No.
I think that like there is this like emotional cost to participants of like there is this like public humiliation element to it, and like we've noted that like individuality and like having a clear sense of style is sort of treated like a flaw on this show, and I would argue they're much more capable of fixing the quote unquote flaw of not having a sense of style than when they're like trying to just sort of subdue someone's existing sense of style. So, quirky dressers, people who are doing subcultural style. I mentioned that there was a girl who did like the Lolita fashion last time, and that like we have not watched an episode where people get really emotional about the trashing, but there were certainly people that I remember from growing up who like got very emotional about their clothes being thrown away.
Yeah. I remember that.
I mean, your clothes are part of you.
Yeah.
especially when you have such a like sense of style. Like obviously, like when people are pulling stuff out and they're like, I loved that, and they're like,
Yeah.
you're ugly.
Yeah, exactly. And then sort of this is now going to pivot into us more talking about today. Like there is a difference, I do think, in modern fashion discourse about being more about cultivating a personal style in a way that is like less about looking this one specific way that was presented on this show. But as India noted, there is definitely still this like adherence to trend things that happens, like the clean girl style. Like, oh, I have to think about it. And like I similarly like walking around downtown in like Soho or the East Village is you see a lot of girls who are all dressed the same way. But I do think there is more of an emphasis on wearing what you want versus there being like rules about fashion. And it's sort of the like instead of it being about you shouldn't wear that, you should wear this. Now there's more of this emphasis on like, hey, you should wear this, and then that micro trend is over. So now you should wear this, and now that micro trend is over. Now you should wear and then so on and so on and so on.
I also do think there's always like a default outfit. Like I sent you guys some pictures from like a girl at a concert, and she realizes like every girl is wearing the same outfit as her because she's wearing like black leggings, a crop top, and a denim jacket, and it's like, yeah, that was the look at the moment. You know,
I've been to a Hosier concert. Every girl's wearing a flowy skirt and a tank top and boots.
The funny thing is, I love, and McKenna, like you would have, like living in New York, was especially you could tell when concerts were in town, and you could tell whose concert it was because all of a sudden Grand Central is flooded. Absolutely, like Grand Central, Penn Station, those areas are just absolutely flooded by people all wearing the same outfit. Like,
yes. Oh, especially like when Harry Styles was like in residence at MSG, and it was just Sparkle Feather Fest in Midtown for like a month.
Like, why is everyone wearing a cowboy hat? Like that guy is not a cowboy. I don't even think he wears a cowboy hat.
It was just the vibe. Everyone was like, we're going to a concert, time for a cowboy hat and boots.
Exactly. Like that's like once there was a country star and I was like, I knew it was a country star because all of a sudden Grand Central's flooded with, yeah, McKenna just put on a pink cowboy hat. Exactly. That hat. But they all had tied bows onto their cowboy boots for some reason. I was like, what? It's the thing of like, this is the thing that really interests me is a lot of these girls think that they are like outsmarting the trends by developing a personal style. And I'm like, bitch, I know you think that you're like dressed really alternatively and like really interestingly by putting like what you think is a crazy outfit together, but like you and every bitch on TikTok is doing the exact same thing and you're all going to the same place. Like,
well, because we all get our ideas from somewhere. Like everything comes from somewhere. And like, you know, whether you know it or not, you have been influenced.
Exactly. And like trends are real and trends are like, I mean, now it's kind of crazy that, I mean, it's not crazy. It's always been that way that like we're kind of coming back to this like, oh, you must get like the red Rothy ballet flats or whatever, you know, like everybody has like the one item, which I don't think I like haven't seen since I remember. Like I feel like purse culture used to be like, you know, such a thing.
I think having a little bit like that this was like many years ago now, and by that I mean like 5, but like that one House of Sunny dress that everyone was buying, the green one.
Yeah. But it's like that's like an example, but I'm like, but now I'm like, oh, everybody is running to go get like this one specific thing, or everyone's running to get this other one specific thing. Like they're like, run, don't walk to get this is the new trend. I don't know. It's just like, it really was like a come to Jesus moment, like realizing like, oh, literally everybody dresses the same. We've always dressed the same, or like throughout all humanity of men, everyone's dressed the same. Like there's just no escaping it.
Except me.
Even when you think you've like beat like trend cycles and stuff. Yeah. And I like, obviously there are people who like develop a sense of style and like sort of, I think when you have style and not, you know, like you, Aubrey, like I think, and you, McKenna, like I think there is something to be said for that. But I think the people who are fashionable are always going to be, you know, the people who are like really thinking about trends and thinking about like what is fashionable. You are just always going to look like what's fashionable. And that's okay.
That's okay. So after What Not to Wear ended in 2013, Stacy hosted another show on TLC called Love, Lust, or Run, which was another fashion show that specifically focused on women who were making questionable fashion choices. It was based on a British show, yet again. This British show was called Snog, Marry, Avoid. And it focused on make-unders of people with extreme style, mostly focused on like skimpy clothes, fake tans, etc.
So just the debimboification fetish show.
And part of the show is that they show the woman to random people and they say if they would love her, lust for her, or avoid her.
So it's just fuck, marry, kill, but they couldn't say fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah. In 2019, we talked about this earlier, but Stacey London announced she was dating a woman. She identifies as a lesbian, and she has also talked a lot about being an eating disorder recovery. I mention these things because I think it's all relevant to the show that they are doing now. That like she has sort of like been more open about these like personal things in her life that have maybe made her think differently about some of the things that they said and did on What Not to Wear. Clinton Kelly started hosting The Chew while What Not to Wear was still on the air. The Chew was a riff on The View, but centered on food and lifestyle topics. It was originally hosted by
Rosie O'Donnell?
I was gonna say, I was like,
it was not Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie in there.
It wasn't Rosie. It was hosted by chefs Michael Simon, Carla Hall, and Mario Batali.
What the heck?
And it was also, in addition to those three, it was Clinton Kelly and then wellness expert Daphne Oz, who was the daughter of Dr. Oz.
Oh my God, not another one.
Oh yeah. So Oz left in August.
There was more than one.
There was more than one. Oz left in August 2017, and then Batali left in December 2017 as well. And he was later officially terminated because of the many sexual assault allegations.
Sorry.
Mario Batali, not Clinton Kelly.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, Mario Batali. The Chew ended in 2018. And after that, Clinton kind of became a Food Network regular. So he sort of like left the fashion space and became a staple of the food media space. In 2017, Clinton Kelly wrote a memoir called I Hate Everyone Except You. In it, he wrote that he and Stacey London, quote, loved each other and despised each other, and that she had blocked him on Twitter. Stacey London was sort of taken aback by this and said that she hadn't even spoken to Kelly at the point when headlines about their supposed feud started cropping up. And so now this is where I have to ask you guys, which one of you wants to play Stacey London and which one of you wants to play Clinton Kelly?
Can I be Stacey? I'm a lesbian.
Okay, great. Aubrey, are you okay with playing Clinton Kelly?
I shall.
India, in the chat, I am sending you a quote from Stacey London.
I was just like, ouch, because I only saw the clickbait. The fact that we didn't communicate before that and the book came out was sort of alarming. But once you've realized things are taken out of context, and once you realize that you can't read somebody's mind, it does make a difference. The fact is, we've been working too long in the trenches together to let our friendship not revive itself.
Clinton Kelly has also stated that people took him writing that to mean that he was saying that they like hate each other, and that's not what they meant. Aubrey, I have 2 quotes from him for you to read. So this is quote 1 from Clinton Kelly.
I challenge anybody to sit next to their best friend in the whole world for 10 years, 16 hours a day, without vacations, without taking weekends off, and not getting into a fight. At a certain point, it was like, I just want to be alone. It had nothing to do with Stacy. It could have been anybody. It could have been my grandmother sitting there. I just needed to be alone for a second.
And he also said,
there were so many people behind the scenes, and sometimes when a showrunner does not have a really good attitude, and it's obvious that a showrunner hates the two of us, it's really hard to go to work for 60 hours a week and pretend to be nice. There's a trickle-down thing. Not all of our showrunners were like that, but there were a couple who really did not like us.
Oh.
Yeah, and they've said that specifically season 6 was particularly brutal for both of them. So I don't know who the showrunner was then, but they did say that like there was some conflict behind the scenes, and it wasn't like the two of them. It was more conflict between the two of them with the people who were like in charge of the show at the time.
That's interesting.
So Mackenna, what this means is that when the podcast becomes profitable, we need to make sure that we're taking vacations and weekends off.
Okay, great.
That's
a good deal.
I mean, it's true. Like, people are just annoying, you know? Like, you live with someone, like, your partner is annoying. Like, people are just annoying. The youths are too soft.
You know what it's like, India? Because you live with a partner, but it's like, sometimes it's like, I can love my partner more than anything else in the world, but sometimes he breathes in a way that I'm just like, stop doing that!
Charlie specifically gulps really loud, like any liquid. Like, they're gulping all over the house. And I actually, like, don't really have a problem with it. But it is something where I'm just like, You are so lucky that I am
Yeah.
not worse about that.
There are so many times when you're in a long-term relationship where you're like, other people would not put up with you the way that I do, while completely disregarding all the ways in which you are flawed, and no one would put up with you the way your partner does.
I found that stylist. I found that stylist who had the really good
Mhm.
the 3 C's of style method by Callie. Instagram is it's Calbal, ITSCALBAL. Aubrey, you follow her.
Let's
And
see.
it says, as a personal stylist, I'm going to tell you 10 things every person should have in their wardrobe. Psych, I would never. And if you think I would, then I'm offended.
Oh yeah, because she's fat.
Yeah, she's fat.
I love her.
Okay, the 3 C's are comfort, confidence, and creativity. Which is basically does it make you feel inspired, fun, excited? Does it make you feel comfortable? And does it make what was the other C? Confidence. And does it make you feel good about yourself?
Good.
You can't really have maybe one outfit, for example, when you're going out clubbing, right? You may lower the comfort down a little bit because you're about to go out clubbing, but your creativity and confidence might be a bit higher. There's always a ratio balance between the three, but those do sort of have to be in there for every outfit. And I'm like, that is
Really solid advice.
Really solid advice. Yeah.
So in 2025, Stacy and Clinton returned together to do a show called Wear Whatever the F You Want. This was a 2025 show. And in the show, they're working more towards fulfilling people's fashion fantasies. So I watched an episode about Alan, who is a young trans man who is looking to cultivate a more androgynous style. He talked a lot about just throwing on baggy clothes and doing a quote unquote default man style, but he was more interested in a more expressive, more degendered style. And to Stacy and Clinton, he named, funny we brought this guy up earlier, he named Harry Styles as a fashion icon.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and so they go to a queer burlesque night and sort of help him feel both a part of the community and also help find the sort of style that he was looking to embody.
Did they go to House of Yes?
I don't remember where they went. I also watched bits of an episode about an ex-Amish ex-stripper who was looking to cultivate a country.
Was she a stripper or Amish first?
She was Amish and then a stripper.
I guess that makes more sense than the other way around.
Wait, and does she what is she trying to do? Yeah.
She is looking to cultivate a country western style, but I think in a good way. She lands on what I would call an updated prairie look that doesn't look costumey, which is sort of the first few things they put her in are very yeah, my pink cowboy hat for real. But then it ends up being more just
I think they're method. I watched a few episodes because I was like, ooh, let me get into it, especially now that it's a gay man and a lesbian, come on, you can't lose. But then Stacy's acting all straight on this show, only talking about dating men. I'm like, okay, maybe you've only had one girlfriend who's not
Aubrey. India is all the people who were criticizing Rosie O'Donnell for talking about Tom Cruise.
No. Listen, I love that Rosie. I'm like, just do both, I'm just why are you only bringing up guys that you think are cute? Why aren't you acting lesbian on the show? Be more lesbian. But I think their method on I was really how are they gonna do this? But I think their method, basically the way the show works is there's 2 rounds basically. The first round is they're we're gonna give you literally tell us your dream sense of style. We're gonna give it to you and you can try it on and see if it even works for you and you can wear it out. And then they then sort of bring in, okay, what are your real life aspects that what's they sort of go confidence, creativity, and then they're okay, let's add in the comfort, let's add in what are your
bring it back
actual,
to practical.
what's your actual necessities of clothes that you wear. And I think that's that I was how are they even gonna do this? But then I was oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The episode I watched, I think it was Brandon, episode 2, I was crying. He was so sweet and so cute. And his whole thing was that he had now recovered after 20 years of an eating disorder
Mhm.
that like and he was like, I'm finally like feel like I'm kind of like over this like huge hurdle in my life, and I like just want to like feel really cool and sexy and confident even though I'm like fat. And he was like, I just want to be like a punk
Hopper's
sex
crying right now.
god. I was like, Aubrey, you need to watch that because you will cry. And he like loves his baby and he loves his wife. And his wife is like, I just want you to feel like how I see you. And I was like, oh. And you could just see how like when he put these clothes on, like you could see like how like good he felt. And
Mhm.
he was like, the mirror like used to be my enemy, and like now I'm like okay with like looking at myself in the mirror. And it was just like so cute. And at the very end he wrote a punk song and he
Yep.
sang it for everyone.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
He did
Wow.
not a very good job, but that made it even more endearing. I
more
was
endearing.
like, oh,
That's better, frankly.
that is better. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I was crying.
Can't wait to watch this with Josh and then see the absolute cruelty that spews from him.
The other episode I watched was the last episode from the season, and it was just I had to watch it because it was a girl who like had been a goth girl her whole young life, and she was like 26 I think, and she was like, I don't want to be goth anymore, and she ends up landing in this like 90s prep zone. Like it's very like Clueless chic by the end. Like they get her like really cute little sets. It was very sweet. I liked it a
so
lot.
cute.
I will say there's been more mixed reactions to this show. Some people really like it, but some people feel like it's kind of boring and the participants aren't walking out with the same level of like wardrobe or tools as they were on What Not to Wear. And I would say that's definitely true because we only see them in like 2-ish outfits at the end. And we don't really get a sense of like what they actually like walk out the door with. But I do think they really did take the feedback about like that the show did not work for people like Denise, who came in with like a set personal style and a strong aesthetic. And this show is attempting to help people find their dream style and sort of shoving them towards this like middle of the road workwear aesthetic. So I wish it incorporated some of the more like what not to wear structural elements, but this ethos of like catering towards a person's dream aesthetic, I think is way better. And honestly, when I was looking on Reddit about this, so many people were like, how the fuck do I get on this show? And so I think there is still this clamoring to like be helped in this way.
It also seems like they're avoiding having it be a lot of like cisgender women and like frumpy moms, which is like the core of What Not to Wear as an original show. And they're going more with like, you know, like trans people and men and like, you know, other
ex-Amish
ex-Amish strippers.
Yeah, like there's another person, one of the other episodes I watched, who she like struggled with like cancer her whole life, or not her whole life, but like a lot of her adult life, and so is her family, and she'd recently like lost her sister to cancer, and so like her mental health was like a huge barrier for like her clothing and stuff like that, and that transformation was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, India, before I do my annoying ending point, because I end all of my series with a big annoying ending point, as we all know.
Yeah, always comes back to Mackenna.
Always comes back to me doing a monologue, you know? But how would you describe my personal style? This feels like the right time to ask.
It's a bit harder because I do think you're a bit more, like, you're definitely more, like, I would say, like, you're, like, pretty fashion forward. And, like, I would say more than Aubrey in the sense of I feel like you're a participant in the trends. Not in a bad way, but it is. But I would consider your style, I think I have described your style before, and I'm trying to like remember what I said because I feel like you didn't resonate with it. But I do feel like you're kind of like almost like I would call it like an eccentric normcore kind of, like you're wearing like pretty basic silhouettes, I find. Like you're gonna wear like a straight leg pant or like a workwear style pant. You know, you love your big bud press, right? Like you love your big bud press. They can rip
the big bud press sample sales this week, and I'm freaking out. You know?
Oh fuck!
I know.
Oh, Charlie bought me a pair of big bud press pants for my birthday, and they already don't fit. I'm so sad.
No.
I didn't wear them because they were like totally the wrong color, so I had to dye them a color that worked because they were like one of their like you can buy from that like bucket of like everything super cheap. And they're already too small. I'm so sad. Anyways, but I'm like, so I don't want to like sit, like, I don't think actually your style is really that eccentric because you're not messing with like crazy shapes, but you have fun.
No.
With color for sure.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I'm not messing with crazy. I have fun with color. I don't have fun with shape. Is something I would very much say.
Yeah, I'm like, you've always got like a fun print or a fun color, but like I feel like you've like really locked down your shapes, which is I feel like you're either gonna go for a t-shirt, maybe with like a long sleeve shirt under it, or you're gonna go for like an itsy bitsy little like sexy top. But always a workwear pant.
Oh, yeah. I had on such a Mackenna ass outfit this weekend. I had on it was a printed off the shoulder shirt that has like a big flower sort of like screen print thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a pair of the new like Big Bud Press like cargo pants that are corduroy and green. And then I had on my Birkenstock, like the Birkenstock like closed-toe sandal like knockoffs, and I was like, this is a Mackenna ass outfit, baby.
Wait, Birkenstock closed-toed sandal?
Like
you mean clog? Like the clog, like a slide?
Yeah,
you love a
clog slides.
Oh,
I love a clog.
You're kind of like, I guess what like I would imagine like an art teacher would have worn when she was younger.
But I'm old now, so
I guess you are old enough to be an art teacher, but like I personally imagine an art teacher to be like a little ancient.
Yeah.
Like you don't got the wooden beads yet, like the big colored wooden.
I don't, but do you want to see a necklace I have that is almost giving wooden beads?
Yeah.
I have to get it.
They can pull the Big Bud workwear pants from Mackenna's dead cold hands. Actually, they wouldn't even be able to.
I will say I wear my black Big Bud Press trousers multiple times a week.
Yeah, you're not a workwear, you're a trouser girl.
Yeah, I love a trouser. I would like a pair of brown trousers.
I love workwear, but I think I've been feeling icked out by the ham hack, the patch pocket front pocket. I think I want just a regular front pocket. I just love a jean. I love a jean.
I got some cool jeans that I rent from Nuuly right now that I will be sad to
return. So I'm kind of looking into Nuuly, and that's why I think like your style's like a little bit harder to pin down, but that's because you're always trying new stuff. But I think that's fun. I want to do Nuuly.
This necklace, let me get it up here. So it's got all these like little animals.
They're animals?
It was my grandmother's. Yeah, it's like there's like aardvarks and bears and
that's very I'm an old white woman in Arizona necklace.
Oh yeah, because it was my grandmother's and I was obsessed with it. And me and my mom were going through my grandma's jewelry when I was home because that's a turtle. We originally were going through it because she had a bunch of earrings that my mom can't wear because my mom's ears aren't pierced. And then I was like, this fucking necklace, I was so obsessed with it that I was like, I have to. I don't think I really will wear it, but I was like, I need to
have it. To have like a piece of her.
Yeah. I think your next evolution will wear it.
Yeah, maybe.
I see a future.
I think I would. I wish I could like figure out a way to like turn it into like a belt.
I could see you wearing it with a belt and like a mini skirt kind of thing.
Yeah. As always, Aubrey knows this. With my monologues, you're always welcome to interrupt me. You don't need to let me just talk for 3 minutes straight.
Okay.
You don't have to. So
does Aubrey interrupt?
No, Aubrey never has. But you're more than welcome to. Truly, I encourage it. In fact, because I
don't say that you encourage it.
I know I do.
You can't tell me that.
I encourage it. So I do think the ethos of wear whatever the F you want is the right one. Even if I also think it is maybe a less compelling notion than its like more police state predecessor. Because I mean,
people are mean. People want to see people be mean to people on TV.
Right. It's less entertaining reality TV for it to be so feel good. Though I do think off the success of like Queer Eye, I think that's part of why they were like, okay, maybe something that's nice can work.
Mm-hmm.
So we are, for better or for worse, perceived by other people, and we live in a society. What? And through all of that, we learn these rules about how we should or should not look, even if they aren't presented to us as explicitly as they are on what not to wear. We're given information about how people who look like us are our gender, our race, our height, our age, our whatever, whether they're a mother or not, should look in order to be taken seriously, have people be attracted to them, etc. And like all of that is made up. It's all constructed by culture, by society. So my life ethos is famously stolen from Drew Carey. Everything's made up. And the points don't matter.
Yeah. Or RuPaul's, we're all born naked and the rest is drag, baby.
Uh-huh. Societal constructs are real. Norms are real. but they are also made up, and you can and should focus on what is going to make you feel the best. And so I think about the difference between the journey of someone like Denise on what not to wear versus Nancy or like Alan on wear whatever the F you want, is that like Denise was going for something to make her feel good, to make her feel cute. And instead of trying to help her adapt that and see how it related to who she is as a person, they just tried to get rid of it. And the journey for Nancy was so successful because they looked at who she was, which is this like funny, kind of edgy Long Island woman. And they like tried to like find clothes that would help her, helped her cultivate a style that matched that. And so this is by no means saying you must care about clothes. Like, you don't. And if you don't give a fuck about what you're wearing, like, sure, whatever. And I do think that most people actually do at some level enjoy expressing themselves through their clothes because we're all aware that we're being perceived. So I am personally constantly trying to demonstrate to the world that I'm just a cool, chill guy. I had dinner with my friend Mark last night, and they walked into the restaurant 30 minutes late, mind you. But it's fine because the bus went the wrong way.
Oh my God.
Which I have never experienced in New York, but apparently happens.
Yeah, my coworker, that happened to him once.
Yeah. And Mark walks in and they were like, I wasn't expecting you to be rocking the white wrapper look, but it works for you.
What were you wearing?
I had on this. I'm so happy that so many of my things are so near me. This is why living in a small space is good. I had on this Noah Kahn hat that's like a flat bill.
Oh yeah, nothing says white rapper like Noah Kahn.
Like Noah Kahn.
Doesn't he sing country music?
Like a big striped sweater and then big jeans and sneakers. So Mark said that, and I said, I of course replied, call me Timothy Chalamet the way I'm Marty Supreme, because I'm the worst person in the world. But like, I think that I personally like have tried to find a vibe, and I think this is my interest in workwear, that's like a good balance of masculine and feminine, classic and trendy, and Mac Miller / hot bisexual bassist that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if clothes are something that scare you.
And also a little bit sexy baby.
Hey, sometimes you gotta be a sexy baby, because I've spent my whole life feeling like a monster on a hill, you know?
Yeah.
I really do recommend just like trying a bunch of shit on and not thinking about how does my body look in this, but how does it make me feel, to India's point about like comfort and confidence being really paramount here. And if you're a femme person, we just talked about this, but I really do recommend like doing a month of Nuuly or another clothing rental service so you can try just rocking some stuff you normally wouldn't like spend money on by yourself at a store. Clothes don't matter, but also they do. And more importantly, they can matter. So truly just do whatever the hell you want. And I personally own like one single structured jacket. So don't feel like it has to be a blazer, no matter how much they got shoved down your throat by Stacy and Clinton.
Although a blazer with a graphic tee, classic combo.
Do you know how many structured jackets I own right now?
How many?
0.
Yeah.
I own like 4 and I don't wear them, but I want to.
I will say I'm not going to get up again. My most structured jacket is probably the suit jacket I have that's plaid.
I love that.
That's red plaid too.
Gonzo.
Oh, I mean, really my sense of style is
Gonzo.
If Gonzo from the Muppets was a cool Bushwick bisexual.
Who doesn't even live in Bushwick.
No. Well, listen, I'm hilarious for not living in Bushwick. I'm hilarious for that.
No, you're better than everyone living in Bushwick for that.
I just moved to Manhattan and now can't leave. I'm trapped here. I signed a deal, and by that I mean a lease. So so that was a lot of closing thoughts from me. But any closing thoughts from the two of you about sort of what not to wear, personal style, etc.?
I think for me, my personal style developed because I just really had this idea of what I thought a cool person looked like, and I wanted to look like that, and so I did. And then that is like the thing I ask myself whenever I buy new clothes is like, does this feel cool? And for me, like, yeah, black circle skirt and white button up with a sweater vest is gonna make me feel cool.
Yeah, I think like at the end of the day, like it's not what you wear that like actually makes you cool or not. Like I know a lot of really cool people who don't really have any sort of style. It's
Yeah.
Or like there's also like not really cool people who don't think they have a sense of style, but still somehow like they wear clothes and people are like, you're cool and you have such a strong sense of style, like me. Like people still are like, you know, and I think it's really just like
in India with a t-shirt and jeans on, everyone's like revolutionary. And it's just because you're cool.
Exactly. Like if you're cool, which, you know, means do you have interests? Are you interested in other people? Then you're cool. Like I think like it's not, you know, like I totally empathize and get why so many people feel so lost in their wardrobe. And I just think that, and, you know, especially going to school for fashion, where like, when I realized that actually, like, that's like not what I cared about was like capital F fashion. I just think that like, wow, it just like it really doesn't fucking matter. Like, people, like, it does, like, you know, present like some aspects of who you are and like what you do and like how you take care of yourself. But I'm like, I don't take care of myself at all. Like, I am mental health wise, like, I am in the trenches right now. Like, I am not well, and I have not been well for a long time, or a long time being like the past year since, you know, whatever. But, you know, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is actually like, I think especially now, like a lot of people are, most of the time, you know, you could look like fucking Denise, but ultimately at the end of the day, like people will be able to see the real you, and like we'll be able to look past that. And like it's not, it's a waste of your energy to feel like fraught about your sense of style and to feel fraught about what you're wearing. And it's really only worth the energy if it's something that makes you feel good.
It
And
should be about you.
Yeah, it's really only worth the energy developing a sense of style if like if like looking a certain way genuinely does like actually make you feel better. If you're like trying to find some sort of sense of style, even though you're like, I don't know, man, I just wear clothes, then like you can continue to just wear clothes, and that is like perfectly fine.
I do actually have to bring this up because I just remembered it. Aubrey, I think I sent this to you. The thing that was said to Matt, the influencer I like. Okay, so this podcaster and influencer I like, he's Matt 14 XIV on Instagram. He hosts the Just a Bit Fruity pod.
I love
He was
him.
sent,
Come on our podcast.
I love him so much. He lives near me. So he posted this message that he was sent this week, which was this person DM'd him and said, "Listen, I have messaged you before because I genuinely appreciate your work, but now I message you more urgently because I feel you could benefit from a stylist. And even if I'm not the girl, though one day I strive to be, I do really recommend looking into hiring someone to fulfill this role. Hire artists to do art. Please look into the work us costume designers and stylists do and meditate on how we can improve your overall outreach. No shade. You're obviously very cute, but let's be real. We need to have a perspective. And right now, it's giving perspective liberal in a Pinterest search and maybe not in an ideal way." And like that,
That's
you're
insane.
You're taking it way too fucking deep. If you are DMing a podcaster you like to say the way that you dress is like not giving what it needs to be giving, shut the fuck up.
It's called a face for radio for a reason.
Well, I was like, I replied to Matt's story and I was like, I'm going to start just like DMing it to like men who no one would say that to. I'm going to send it to all the hosts of Last Podcast on the left. I'm going to send it to Peter Shamashiri and Michael Hobbs. We're sending it to people who no one would ever say that to.
I'm like, why? Like, it's also, I think this also is like a big issue in the gay community, especially the gay men community, is like, you have to have a sense of style. You have to like be in the know of like all the cunty things. And it just is like,
you don't have to do anything.
I don't like clothes are a tool in the sense of they literally either provide us with like coverage from the world, whatever that means, like the elements, other people's eyeballs, you know, whatever, or they are a tool that is really useful for helping us like feel really good about ourselves. And if clothes just like aren't the thing that like makes you feel super good about yourself, it's okay to just like wear whatever.
You know, it is actually remarkable that Aubrey has such a good sense of style, considering how much you prefer not having clothes on, Aubrey.
I am. If it were socially acceptable, I would just be naked all the time.
I love being naked.
I feel the most myself when I am completely nude.
I don't know. See, to me, I'm like a clothes are between me and the elements type thing. Like, I don't know if I need to be like out in the world naked. Like, I do always still feel kind of weird when I like sit on something upholstered with my like naked body. I'm still
Could
kind
never
of
be
like,
me.
but I do think that I am allowed to be the naked neighbor, and I am allowed to have the windows open, because if I'm forced to see my naked body, then so should you.
I'm about as close to the never nude from Arrested Development as you can get. I do not like being naked, guys. It is when I'm done having sex, the clothes are going on immediately.
I paid a lot of money for these boobs. Well, okay, so I find when I'm going to the club that actually the perfect shirt for me to like feel really sexy is just like a sheer shirt. I paid so much money. Sorry, my mom paid so much money for these boobs. My dad's prostate cancer paid so much money for these boobs that that I'm like, it's actually a crime for them to be covered. I got my boobs cut off so I could look less fat, and I got cursed with becoming fat after that.
Oh, cursed? Cursed? Any comments on that?
Blessed.
Any comments on that, Aubrey? Aubrey, any comments on cursed?
Cursed in the
I
sense
did it,
of
India.
Yeah, it was Aubrey.
I
said I
cast a
need another
spell.
one.
I said there's too many thins in this friend group.
Yeah.
You thought you were drinking water at my wedding? No, it was bacon grease. It was all part of the plan.
No, I'm Jewish. No.
Now I did anti-Semitism too.
Yay!
Pro-fat but anti-Semitism.
I contain multitudes.
Hey everybody, maybe one day we'll get to go back to the old outro, but for today, it's another installment of Mackenna's Fuck Ice Corner. Yesterday, ICE shot and killed another man in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are thinking of all of our friends, family, and listeners in Minnesota and around the United States. You know, I live in New York, and friends have had ICE in their neighborhood this weekend in Upper Manhattan, and people in Queens and Brooklyn have been dealing, and in Lower Manhattan have been dealing with ICE in their neighborhoods for a long time now. Not to, by any means, the extent of what's going on in Minnesota, but also not good. So we're going to be putting those same resources we put in the listening notes last week in the listening notes again this week for this week's episode. And I really encourage you that if there is a local like ICE watch in your town, get involved in mutual aid, community organizing, whatever you can to protect yourself and your neighbors. And if you're not in the United States, congrats. Those resources will be in the listening notes. Feel free to reach out with anything to informattraction@gmail.com, and we'll be back with you next week.